everyone. Hi. We're back at the NTU CoHASS Open House 2020. We're doing a live stream session all the way until 5 o'clock, and we are soon going to hit our last panel session. Raj, have you been watching any of the live stream sessions?
I have been, and I mean, I've been hearing a lot of my friends speak about their subjects as well as their own experiences. I had a few experiences to share myself, but we'll probably get on with that once you ask the right questions.
Okay. I will definitely ask a few questions that I'm sure like everyone who is watching this will really want to know. Besides, all the curriculum, the modules, the classes, and I think they would want to know what goes on in our normal school lives, because we're only in class for 2 or 3 lessons a day, and the rest what do we do outside of those lesson hours? And I think that's what a lot of people, prospective students, would want to know. So what is one of your favorite things to do in school besides studying?
I love eating. I'm actually a foodie in the sense that I really love to explore different food avenues, especially in NTU. So, although NTU is in such an isolated spot, we have actually a lot of wonderful food right here. So from Thai food all the way to I think at least 9 or 10 different mala hotspot places. I'll probably just be going on a full-on rant here. Maybe nearest to where we are in the Hokkien Hui Kwan building is actually our South Spine. So there, one of my own favorites is of course the Yu Chi duck rice. That's wonderful. Yeah, followed by like the Japanese food. And I mean, you can always say that good Japanese food starts with the rice.
Okay. So you can definitely say that the food at the South Spine canteen is really good.
It's quite good. At the same time, like in North Spine itself, the options are really wonderful. So you have mini wok, people who like black pepper chicken, sliced onion fish, that kind of thing. And actually, I think North Spine has a wonderful array of vegetarian and vegan options as well. So I think recently they, while you were on internship, they actually started a salad bar on the first floor, and I've heard it's been getting a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, we got like juice bars, we got Pig's PB, we've got McDonald's, Starbucks, Coffee Bean.
Bibimbap. Yes. What's that? Pax Bibimbap, I think.
We're like the food directory, So I think if you spend a long enough time in NTU, you would know like where all the good food spots are, and like where it's a shortcut to the place that is like least crowded during like peak hours and all those kind of things as well.
I just want to cut you off here. So in fact, at this point of time, there's a competition going on as to which is the best mala hotspot place in NTU itself. So we have a lot of strong contenders from like Can 9.
I'm just gonna say Can 9 is the best. Hands down. I've been going there for 3 years and it has never disappointed me. Sometimes I travel all the way to NTU just to have the Can 9 mala because, other places don't really cut it for me.
Did you know that Hall 1 actually went through a renovation recently?
Oh, I think I saw it. They have like that conveyor belt stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You pick your food from the conveyor belts and then you eat. So yeah, that's about it for the food options. You guys can explore when you're here.
They're probably hungry right now. Before they end a live stream.
Well, I mean like in about 2 hours it's dinner time. So yeah, like maybe you can just travel over to NTU just to eat your dinner today or something.
And then walk in the Yunnan Garden.
Oh yeah, the Yunnan Garden. So well, to give you guys a bit of context, I've been out of school for about 3 months because I'm on my professional internship semester. So it's part of my curriculum at the Weekend We School, and I've just been working like a normal working adult at a company. So I came back to school today after like 3 or 4 months, and a lot of things have changed. So like what you said, the Yunnan Garden. Like I think that took about like almost a year of construction, and the South Spine canteen was also renovated. Do you know of any other renovations going on or new stuff?
It's been too much. Honestly, I personally, I stopped keeping track after a while. Like, it's been so much of things that's been ongoing in this 2 to 3 months. Actually, maybe you can tell them a bit about the internship that you're currently doing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the internship that I am currently on is part of Wee's professional internship semester. So I am actually a third-year student at the Wee School of Communication and Information, and all third-year students have to go through a compulsory 6-month internship program, and it's one of our graduate requirements actually.
Okay.
So we apply to various different companies through the school portal or through connections or people that we know. So for me, I'm actually interning at an American broadcast company called NBC Universal.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys know. It's like it's a broadcast company based in New York City, and it has like companies all over the world. So I've had the opportunity to work in their Singapore office, and it's been a real enriching experience for me. So what about you, Raj? Do you have any like internship opportunities, or like are you doing anything outside of studying at the moment?
Currently, I mean, as in, I'm in the midst of applying for some of my internships within the semester time. But in my free time, I'm actually working. So NTU actually offers this option called the Work Study Scheme, WSS, and it's actually a means for students to earn an extra allowance every week while they are having their semester, and I think even during vacation periods as well.
So in school, you're helping out with all the admin stuff, and you get like part-time pay from that.
Yes. So like depending on what kind of work you do, most of the jobs are like about $7 to $9 per hour. I think that's quite decent, and at the same time, there are a lot of different opportunities. So be it working in the library or working with the IT services. Or working on certain projects, or even being like a campus tour guide for different groups of individuals that actually come to visit NTU itself. So there are a vast array of different opportunities that you can sign up for and actually just work and hone your skills. So I think what I really like about the WSS scheme is apart from the allowance that you are kind of earning per month, you are also basically given a platform by which you can practice and hone a lot of your different skills, and then you can use these skills to apply for internships.
That's right, because it's all part of work experience, and you're doing it as you're studying in the midst of the semester as well. Well, like for me, I actually have a lot of freelance opportunities in NTU. I'm actually part of the MC Club, which is under the Cultural Activities Club. So we do like hosting for events. This is actually what I'm doing for MC Club as well. And we also do like in school and outside of school. So I've hosted for various school activities as well as clients from other companies as well, and it's been a real eye opener, I must say, because to be able to study and work at the same time as an NTU student is really a privilege that I didn't know that I could have when I entered this school. Yeah. So Raj, like what are some of the internship opportunities that you're looking out for, since you are a student of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences?
So my degree is in public policy and global affairs, and for a very long time I was actually very interested in public organizations. Even now, my internships that I'm trying to apply for are within the public service itself. Most recently, I actually completed an internship with the State Courts of Singapore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was really very interesting, because I was actually tasked with preparing a full policy report, and like providing like 15 policy recommendations as to how they can change things up and how they can actually cater to people who are not legally trained. So I think their approach now is to be more open and accessible to the lay person who is not trained in law. And I think that's a beautiful initiative that they are currently trying to push for, and I'm glad that I was actually part of that opportunity. So I got to live life like a lawyer to some extent. And at the same time, I was also working with the frontline officers, and I honestly felt like it was like Netflix, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there
Like,
were
you're
so many
really-
different experiences that were happening, coming, and I just find myself so blessed and privileged that I was
Yeah.
actually able to be part of something like that.
I mean, I think one of the best things about being in university is that, you know, you have 2 semesters a year, but you
Yeah.
have a 3-month break in between, and it's really up to you how you want to spend this 3 months. So a lot of people go on summer internships. A lot of people try to develop their skills and, you know, hobbies outside of their curriculum. And for me personally, I've taken up like 3 internships,
Wow,
and
okay.
I'm on year 3, and I'm just planning to just keep on hustling, get those jobs, get those work experiences, and it really prepares us for the outside world, as you call it, after
Definitely,
you graduate. Well, yeah, so I guess like you had that internship opportunity, and like I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, what can you do like after you graduate?
So for like with regards to public policy alone, or just as a NTU student?
You know, just as like anyone who's, you know, part of this college, like what are, you know, the prospective
Okay.
jobs that you might be able to look for?
I think when we speak about the College of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences, the very fact that you are being trained in the art of not just logically and critically thinking about stuff, but to really engage and I would say learn about the social, the softer sciences that actually govern our natural world is something that I would feel it's a very important skill to have. So as technology and digital, as technologies are actually advancing, what is happening is in the meantime, a lot of things like ethics, you know, empathy, the relations between people, these are kind of things that are also emerging in the process. So I find that when you are able to synchronize and synergize both your soft and hard sciences, ultimately what happens is we actually will have a society that can continue to progress, not just individually but really collectively.
Wow, I feel like I just heard a minister's speech, because that was really like, oh, you're going all out and you're
You
so
gotta feel it for
eloquent.
the people, yeah.
You know, like, so I think one of the best things about being, you know, under the arts and humanities is that we get to empathize with people.
Yes.
Like, people are, you know, one of our, you know, favorite things about life, like interacting with people, forming bonds with people. How do we really build connections with all these people are what we focus in the College of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences. And particularly, I guess, like the people who are really holding it together for us in NTU are, you know, the leadership boards, who are also our peers and also our leaders who take care of us in the middle of the semester. So are you involved in any of these leadership programs or committees?
I am currently involved with the student union. Although my role this semester is more so in terms of being a programmer, but I've actually served as a chairperson for one of the relations committee, and I do see all these kind of opportunities and platforms through which my work can actually create a difference within the lives of the student body. So be it in terms of communicating what they would like with the school, to actually being part of the process that actually manifests these changes that would really benefit students. These are some of the projects that you can take on as a leader.
Yeah.
But I think in the same vein, I would like to just take this opportunity to thank the professors that I've had in NTU. So I think they are really very encouraging, loving, and often so supportive that they go out of their way to give you a sort of help in whatever you need to do. So be it in terms of, you know, providing reading, helping you digest that content in any way and every way possible. So at least coming into NTU is not just supportive in terms of the peers that you have, not just supportive in terms of the opportunities that are available for you to grasp. It's also about the professors that can help you bring about and hone your true self, to be able to really look at what you like to do in life and then progress forward.
Yeah, well, I guess our next group of panelists will be able to tell you guys more about that, because they're the ones who work very, very closely with the leadership boards of different schools,
Yes.
the professors, and the student body to really organize great activities and events for everyone at NTU CoHASS.
Yeah.
And they are actually the leadership committees of the different schools that we have here, and we are very, very excited to have them here later on. So please stay tuned, and they will be with you very shortly.
Hi, and a very good afternoon to everybody who's tuning in from wherever, be it from home, from work, on the MRT. Welcome to the College of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences Student Leaders Panel. My name is Eugene. I'm from the Weeking School of Communication and Information, and I'll be co-moderating this panel today with Clara. Clara, where are you from?
I'm from School of Art, Design and Media. I'm actually studying visual communication and product design. And then I'll let the others introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Jared. I'm a Year 4 philosophy major from the School of Humanities. I'm also the president of the School of Humanities Club there, and we are so looking forward to taking all the questions that we have here on the Slido as well as the CoHASS microsite.
I'm Harshan from the School of Social Sciences. I'm also the president of the Triple S Club, and I'm a Year 3 major in economics.
Yeah, hi, I'm Seong Hang. You can call me Pai. I'm representing the NTU University Scholars Program, and I'm also currently a Year 3 student at Communication Studies, so we're in the same school. Yeah.
Right, just so we can start things off a little, why not let's tell everyone who's watching what's currently up with our lives, since this is about student life, right? So maybe I'll start. Currently, I'm a 4th year student. I'm from the Weeking School of Communication and Information, and I'm the president of the Communication and Information Club. I'm a 4th year student, so that means I'm currently working on my final year project. It's a documentary on the lives of some families who have been impacted by the ban on the personal mobility devices. So that's something that I'm currently working on now. What about you, Clara?
I'm currently a 3rd year student, so I'm actually preparing for internship. So I'm currently preparing for my resume and my portfolio with regards to the next few weeks. I will be actually applying for a few companies, seeing where I go to. So I'll be looking more into both local and overseas internships as well.
How about something a little more fun? Are you guys doing anything fun at your halls or in your schools? What's up?
Fun. I'm having a lot of fun trying to write out my FYP. I'm having fun trying to explore the puzzle between liberal democracies and conscription and
Wow, that's a lot.
what's fun? I think what's fun is trying to find to bring us all together here for this virtual open house in virtually less than 2 weeks, and we have this entire setup. And fun-wise, I think also it's trying to replan student activities so that our students still get to have all the activities that we want to do, but now in a safe and responsible manner. Yeah, Pai, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I'm currently on my professional internships. I'm a Year 3, so I'm currently working at Changi Airport Group. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, of course, with the situation right now, we are also tackling a few issues at the airport as well. So yeah, there's that. It's been really fun so far. On top of that, I'm also involved in my NTU USP year-end party. So it's kind of like a graduation. Yeah, so it's kind of like a graduation party. And this year, the theme is actually space.
Ooh,
yeah.
space.
So
Are you
we
gonna
went
get
off
dressed like
with
an astronaut?
Yeah, so I'm gonna dress like in an astronaut suit. I'm not, but yeah, no, it's very fun because the planning process and all that, and we're just coming up with games and we're coming up with the lookbook. How do you dress up for a space team and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so far it's been very fun. And yeah, looking forward to seeing this progress, and hopefully the party goes on and we have a good time in May.
Yeah.
How about you, Harshan?
Well, I'm actually trying to plan my graduation trip, which is next year. So looking at places gotta book your flight tickets early, guys. Scoot Tuesday. Yeah, so I'm looking at countries like Japan, maybe Southeast Asia. I don't really know where to go now. Yeah. So just looking at that. Meanwhile, doing what Clara's doing.
Yeah.
Scouring the web for interns. So if you're looking for anybody, hit me up.
So today we're here to take your questions with regards to anything, student life related, and hopefully we can share some insights, and we can maybe at the same time talk about some experiences that we have that will relate to some of the concerns that you might have about university life. So let's look at our first question. Clara, do you want to read our first question today?
Our first question from Anonymous1. Is the student culture in NTU inclusive? Is it easy to form romantic relationships here, or do students only have time to study?
Interesting question.
So,
Actually, I think Clara can tackle this question.
Pretty easily.
I think it's okay. So the first part of the question is the student culture in NTU inclusive? for me, I spend a lot of time in ADM especially, so I feel like the community there is very inclusive in that different years or different batches sort of bond together. And it doesn't matter what major you're from or what specific specialization you're currently studying during that year, but your seniors and your juniors will always be there to help you to get through like your different years. So your foundation year, especially with foundation drawing and your foundation 2D, 3D, and 4D respectively, you sort of explored both design and media, and it can get very overwhelming at the very start, especially with the amount of coursework that you have to do, and you're expected to do well, especially in ADM. But then again, the environment, I wouldn't say it would be a sort of like a healthy, competitive sort of way. It wouldn't be like, you know, very, you wouldn't feel very restrictive in the environment. So I guess that's a good thing. The second part of the question, is it easy to form romantic relationships here, or do students only have time to study? So currently I'm in my third year. The previous 3 years I thought I wouldn't have time for any relationships, but this year I got into a relationship, so yeah, but I actually got to know him through student club especially. So yeah.
Finding love in the student clubs here.
Join the club, find some love.
Yeah. So besides like student clubs that are represented by each of the schools, there are actually NTU-wide clubs and societies that you can join as well. So be it, you know, whether you're from humanities, from the social sciences, or engineering, or any of the other sciences, business even, you can actually join any of these clubs to make friends, and you know, these clubs welcome all kinds of students across, and you know, you might definitely find some love there as well. You know. Anybody else has anything to share about romantic, romantic relationships in school, or
Maybe Jared. I think it's generally quite easy to form romantic relationships in the sense that there's a lot of student-to-student interaction. We take up to about, I don't know, anywhere between 10 to 6, I think 12 to 16 hours of school a week, and we do meet people from all across school and campus, right? Like I've taken classes with exchange students, with like Eugene mentioned, business, engineering students, and you just meet such a diverse range of people that if you want to, you can form genuine relationships, be it romantic or not. And to be very honest, I think we have more than enough time to study. It's just really a matter of prioritizing your time well.
Time management especially.
Yeah, inclusiveness, I think we are a pretty inclusive community in NTU. We do have exchange students joining us, and I think even hall life is pretty inclusive. So we do have safeguards and measures in place. So when students feel excluded or harassed or stuff like that, we do have the University Wellbeing Center where they can go to and pour out their troubles and all. So yeah, I think NTU culture is pretty great.
Yeah, I'm taking this class currently. It's called News Media Lab with the Wikimwi School. And what it does, it takes students from communication studies, takes students from the School of Art, Design and Media, and it also takes developers from the computer science and engineering side of things. And we are forming groups to develop products for the newsroom, so like new products. So I'm currently working on an idea and I can't really tell you much about it, but you know, we're trying to see how we can engage, you know, new readers like you watching this right now, to be, you know, looking at reading the news more. So that's something that we've been doing. All right, maybe let's move on to our next question for the day. Hi, says Anonymous. Will it be compulsory to join CCAs or clubs? Do you want to take this question?
Well, it's not, firstly. So let me just speak from, I guess, my experience as a communication studies student first before I move on to USP. So is it compulsory? No, it's not. But having said that, the culture in Wikimwi School, which I'm sure Eugene shares as well, is that it's really very vibrant. We've got like really fun activities, and we've got, you know, every now and then we have exchange students joining us and all that. So I guess one way to put it is that it's really colorful. You know, in Wikimwi, because we just have such a diverse group of people, and we have, you know, so many fun activities and all that. So yeah, there's that. So is it compulsory to join? in order to take part in these activities, it's not. But having said that, if you want to be part of this kind of vibrant culture, and you want to create events and all that kind of stuff, because I mean Week in Week really has some wacky events, and if you want to be part of it, please feel free to join. So that's what I have for the Week in Week school. In terms of on the NTU USP side, it's also not compulsory, but as a year one, if you do choose to join NTU USP, you are I guess we do encourage you to join one subcommittee in your first year. So we've also got subcommittees such as Arts, Cultural and Social Affairs, which is I guess the equivalent of like a social subcommittee in other clubs. So maybe you organize events. Like recently, I think we had one event called You Super Powerful, which is a superhero themed event. I dressed up as Ramen Man.
Oh, Ramen Man?
No, it was just a ramen shirt that I bought from Vietnam. But yeah, it's I mean it's just fun, right? Because and all that, and you also get to organize events like if you're under the special projects subcommittee. Last year we had a makeup workshop. So one of the seniors actually taught people how to do makeup. There was also a terrarium workshop somewhere down the line as well. So it's just really like a lot of fun, and so to answer back to the point whether it's compulsory, it's not, but there are a lot of opportunities to join, and since the platform is there and the people are there, why not just join?
Maybe let's just take this opportunity to talk about what each of our clubs has special. What's a specialist thing that you do in your club? Maybe let's start with Clara.
Sure.
She has no choice.
So for ADM Student Club especially, actually I kind of want to talk about more about my impression of Student Club from year one to my impression of it now.
Yeah.
So actually in year one, I had no idea that ADM Student Club actually existed. I kind of wish that there was more awareness about it especially. But going into year two, a friend of mine actually was looking for an art director in Student Club as well. So I was like, why not give it a try, especially with my being in high school and taking up things like National Art Honor Society. And then I sort of wanted to see what the university aspect of it could offer me as well, as in comparison to the ones in high school. So in year two, I took up the job for art director, and eventually at the end of it, it became creative director. But then this year, I thought that maybe why not Student Club could do more impactful stuff for the following years to come. And I was like, okay, why not just try presidency for the term. so
Casually just runs for president.
But we've done pretty impactful stuff this year. I'm pretty proud of my team especially. They're probably back in the ADM working on their submissions right now still.
Watching you?
While watching me, I don't know. We'll see. We've actually started off more things, including mental well-being especially, because I feel like that's quite important.
Yep.
To especially, not just checking up with your friends or all that, but also trying to get to know people, or trying to get to know others from such a program, while at the same time helping them throughout. But then at the same time, we also started off something to make exchange students actually feel more included. Inspired by Week in Week especially.
I'm honored.
But we actually talked to our club advisor. We wanted to make them feel more included in Singapore especially, and started off this initiative where we actually take them out and explore Singapore,
nice.
Culturally, or the heritage in general, what they would want to explore. We sort of get their opinions on what they would like to do as a tourist here, and how they would feel more included and more at home especially.
Right. What about Jared? What to tell us about? Would you want to speak?
You're so excited to do.
Sorry, let's go. Passion, you can go first.
So basically in SSS we do plan a lot of events. We have a Halloween event, Valentine's Day event, and our hallmark event, which is Triple S night, where we have this music and arts kind of festival that we get. Seems very similar to something we know, right? So we get performers down from maybe hall, or even from the school, whoever wants to come and perform, showcase your talents, and we let them broadcast on this one night kind of exhibition. And this is all planned by the school club, obviously. Then I think if you really want to join something that impacts you, makes a difference, maybe the club is one avenue. Another avenue could be something called the orientation committee. Because honestly, the greatest reach you can actually reach out to the freshmen, right, which is the people watching right now, is by being in the orientation committee. You get first-hand interaction with the new freshies, and you get to like really plan all the exciting games. Even with school regulation, you still can make it fun, and it's really exciting.
Yeah. Jared, your turn.
I've been in a school club all 4 years of my student life.
Dedicated.
Yeah. I think the best part about being in club is really learning skills that you don't learn just by being a student. Firstly, you learn management skills, right? Like how to manage, firstly, your team. Secondly, how do you manage management? I think that's an interesting thing to learn as well.
Yeah.
Our club, we do, I think like everybody has mentioned, stuff like that. We also push them to run their own teams as well. So we push them to go for overseas exposure trips. We push them to do things like orientation. We push them to do things like academic conferences, because humanities are a bit more academic in nature. And I think the whole takeaway from being in a CCA is that university life is only so much made up of academics. The rest is really the people you meet and the things you do. And to me, it's the things you do that I think makes up a bulk of your resume, besides your GPA, and that really, really helps build up your character and stuff. So I think the student club is a good place to start. Yeah, and I think everybody should join, even in whatever capacity, like Pai has said, even in the subcommittee. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just speak about the CI club, the Communication and Information Club, as we know it affectionately in the Week in We School. I think in Week in We School, the events are really vibrant, like Pai said. But I don't think that you can imagine how vibrant it is until you actually see it for yourself. And that's where I'll encourage you to go and look at our Instagram page at WKWSCI. Yeah. There's no. But it really is really vibrant. I think what we are best known for, maybe we're known for many things, but the best thing we're known for has to be Theme Week. Hands down, Theme Week is what the Week in We School is known for. And let me just give you a taster. Every day of the week, we'll spend 1 week each semester, and we'll dress up according to themes that were assigned to the days of each day of the week. So on one of the days, I remember it was a Wednesday, and it was the theme was wildlife. I remember dressing up. Night before, I was making my costume with my friends. I made used string and some foam paper, and I cut some petals. I made like a little flower thing, and I tied it around my head. I dressed in all green. My friend brought a bee onesie, and so we went to the hive where he was pollinating on flowers. So you can go and check that out. I think it's pretty funny. What is the wackiest thing that you've done here, Pai?
Wackiest thing that wow. I'm running out of. I mean, Theme Week was pretty wild. I don't remember what I dressed up actually. I mean, it's been a while back. But I think there was a pretty wild one. It was Food Pyramid.
Yeah.
I don't know which day of the week it was, but someone came and dressed as raw chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild.
So a lot of things in school, not just Week in We, but across all the different schools, we really do try to think about how do we express ourselves in the best way, and I think what's very unique about Week in We. Right, so I think it's time for our next question. We spent a really long time talking about clubs. Bottom line is, it's not compulsory, but maybe you should try. Yeah. The next question.
The next question.
Top one.
Anonymous number 3. Which is the best hall in NTU?
Ooh.
Wow, that is
controversial question.
How about we go one round and say what our halls are first, and maybe
Okay.
different. Yeah.
We have going to be very
outstanding.
It's
okay.
not that plan. From Hall 10 as well. Yeah.
Hall 10.
I'm from Terrace. Tamarind.
I'm from
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, it's around there. I'm from Crescent Hall. So we have a clear majority here, so it's a bit difficult for me to win. But I will pitch my, my proposition for Crescent Hall. So it's one of the newer halls that we have. It's about 6 years old, and I guess the good thing about it is there's really a lot of communal spaces that you can use in terms of facilities. And of course, in general, the facilities is just a little bit newer as compared to the other halls. And I guess what I like about it is just the location, because it's really near the exit. So if I want to go to, supper, it's about 10 minutes walk away. So that's great. But yeah, in general, I think because it's such a new hall as well, everyone is, kind of just getting to know each other, and we don't really have like a very strong culture. Whereas, you've heard of other halls where they have like a very strong like sports culture, or they're very good at, hall dance, for example. But for us, because we are quite relatively new, we don't really have a very strong preset culture. So in a sense, you get to really take part in different activities, and you really get to try things out, and that's not something that you can get in every place. Yeah, so that's my case for Crescent Hall. So I will leave it to the hall 10 people, 3 of them.
Does anybody want to defend?
I'm gonna just go out on a limb and just say that maybe all the halls are equally good. And the let's be diplomatic. Yeah. So actually, I think the best part of NTU is that they provide 2 years free. Not free. It's not free.
It's not free.
It's not free. Guaranteed accommodation on campus.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's controversial to say NTU is a bit far, but they provide hostel accommodation, and you don't need to like fight so hard for it. So I think that's pretty brilliant. And the best part about hall is that you get to interact with the people right beside you. So I can literally open my door and like shout, "Hey, anybody want to play ball?" Then walk. So many people will open the door and say, "Okay, let's go." Then we will go. Yeah. What about you, Jared?
I think it's the experience of living independently and being away. I wouldn't say best hall. I think all halls are great. It's really the experience of staying in hall that matters. And even if you try for 1 semester, I think it's a good experience of just learning how to wash clothes on your own, for example. I think that's a skill that, I've heard of people who do not know how to use a washing machine, and they pour like half the detergent bottle in, and then everything starts foaming, and foam comes out of the laundry room. So things like that happen, and you're just really confused, right? Like, there are people who don't know how to do laundry, and I think it's this stepping out of comfort zone that makes hall so exciting. And I think that's the best part about being in hall. Yeah.
There's like cooking, you gotta cook by yourself. You gotta like manage your time well. You cannot just be sleeping all day, every day. Yeah, you gotta study in hall. There's so many things.
Anything?
For Tamarind Hall, it's actually quite new, especially like Crescent Hall. Actually, the cool thing about Tamarind Hall is that what I found out from my friends who stay in the older halls or the first established halls is that they have like maybe like 3 or 4 washing machines and 1 dryer for the entire 3 blocks, or 2 blocks of their entire hall area. But for Tamarind, the cool thing about us is that at least for every other alternate hall, for the different levels, like for example, if I was living on floor 9th, I have a pantry on my floor, floor 11 and 13 would have pantries as well, but floor 10 and 12 would have a washing machine and a dryer. So you could go to so it's actually alternate.
It's so convenient.
So that's pretty convenient.
Yeah.
So if, for example, the one at your level is taken, you can always go to the next level for something else.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, what I like most about halls in NTU is that they are very affordable. For the price, you get it's like around $300 for a month for like a double room. It's a few $100s more for single rooms, and depending on the age of your hall, depending on the location maybe, whether or not it has aircon, these are all factors in which the price may vary. Alright, let's move on to our next question. Has any one of you gone through admission interviews, and how were they like? So has any one of you gone through admission interviews?
I went through admission interviews.
Oh, maybe you want to share with us more about that.
Wow, that was such a long time ago when I went for admission. It was like 6 years ago. Yeah, wow, that's a really long time. So The interesting thing about NTU is that I think at least for CoHASS is that we very focused on aptitude based, right? So like for Weeking and ADM, there's portfolios and stuff. So it's not purely about grades. And so the admission interview is made up of two parts, at least for my program, philosophy. It's a written test as well as a face-to-face interview with a professor. So the written test was a text, and you're supposed to analyze the text and give some very basic comprehensive questions. And after that, what happens is that we get to speak to the professor, and I think what that was for was really for the professor to determine interest and I think passion in the course, because you're going to do it for 4 years. If you don't enjoy the course or don't even have a basic understanding of what the course is about, it's going to be so painful to drag yourself through these 4 years. And I think I've been very blessed because most of my classmates are just so into the subject. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but it's like you have classmates who are just so into the subject, and that really makes a lot of difference to the classroom dynamics. And I think that's one thing that admission interviews really, really help in. And it's not stressful at all, because the good thing about philosophy is that nobody has studied it formally. So nobody has an advantage against anybody else. And it really shows, I think, the school's commitment to aptitude testing, and it really makes me more relieved that I'm just not going to be a GPA number on my admission interview. Yeah.
Maybe does anybody else has any?
I do have a short one.
Right.
So as part of the NTU USP admission, you do have to sit through an interview. So before that, you actually get to write like a 500-word essay. Not super long, but basically can be range from like questions like what does it mean to be a global citizen, which is one of the selling points of the NTU USP as a program, because there's a lot of chance where you get to go overseas and you get to get exposed to like different subjects across the world. And so during the admissions interview, actually from my end it was pretty chill. Sat down with like, I think it was 2 faculty members, and we just sat down and we talked. And I think, like what he said earlier on, that I think it really helps you to clear your head as to whether you really want it. And once you're inside, you can really find like a group of people that they're very passionate and they're very willing to learn. Because I think at the end of the day, USP, we take in not only CoHASS students, we also take in people from engineering and from science as well. And so you have these people who are coming in with completely like very different home courses as compared to what USP has to offer, which is slightly more liberal arts kind of modules. So when they come in, they are very keen to learn, and if we get on pretty much at an even footing, because we're all kind of a bit, I would say, foreign to some of the subjects brought out. So I mean, it's just the fact that you have these interviews and all that to really kind of sieve out and to really bring out that passion in you to contribute to this student club, and also to learn very new subjects that you're not previously exposed to. I think that really helps. So I would say one tip for you, if you are looking to join not only NTU USP but also any other courses that might require an admissions interview, don't be so scared about it. Think of it as more of like something that you can use to, I guess, clarify your thoughts and to make yourself clearer about whether you really want it or not.
Does anybody else have any other interview tips, general interview tips? Well, maybe I could say some, like be confident, just go in with an open mind. Think of it as a conversation with the interviewer. Don't be so stressed out about it. There's really nothing to be stressed about, really. But in the preparation for your interviews, maybe think about what's your story, getting to where you want to get to. So that's something that, one of my professors, Dr. Mark Trinite, likes to say often. Show us how you got to where you want to get to. And I think that will help you a lot in clarifying your thoughts. Anybody else?
No.
I guess just one quick tip as well. One very quick one. I guess at the end of the interview, always also ask questions. Make it as a conversation. Show that you are also keen to take part in whatever that you are signing up for. And just make sure you look enthusiastic as well. So because at the end of the day, interview is two-way. As much as you think that it's one person, like you're going for like an oral examination or something. It's not. It's really not. So start a conversation and make sure, clarify anything you might need to, and just relax. It's not that stressful.
Right. Let's move on to our next question. Who is your favorite professor and why? All right. Let's take maybe a couple of seconds to think about it. Anybody's got an answer?
I hope none of my professors are watching this.
Okay, start with you, Jared.
Okay, my favorite professor is Professor Andrew Forsheim's. He's a philosophy professor, and he really embodies what a philosophy professor stereotype is, like a slightly intense, always thinking about something at the back of his mind. He stares at you when he's thinking about something, makes you very uncomfortable. But he's brilliant, so he's really brilliant. And you know those professors where you enter a class and you know that you're just gonna learn something from this class? Yeah, and the moment I had my very first lecture in university with him, Introduction to Philosophy, and I knew that from the moment I sat down and the moment they started teaching, I knew I was going to learn something from this class. I think that was a great feeling to feel as a freshman. And throughout the years, he has taught me so many things, from political philosophy to meta-ethics. He's now my FYP supervisor. Yeah, so the learning never stops. And the good thing is that he never... he said this sentence to us in class once. He says that there are no stupid questions in class, but I will treat you like an intellectual peer. So I will question you and I won't baby your answers and stuff like that, which is great, right? Because in university, the last thing you want to be treated as is like a child. Yeah, and so we have rigorous debates in class, and I think it really helps us to build our intellect as well as our argumentative skills, and that has really built me as a person and really improved my writing skills in university. So hands down, favorite professor. Yeah.
Okay. Go next? No. Alright, I can talk about my favorite lecturer. My favorite lecturer in the Week in We School has got to be Miss Hedwig Alfred. She's a boss, really. She's the journalism lecturer in the Week in We School. And she takes CS 2021, which is News, Writing and Reporting. And it's an introductory class, but she drills you really, really intensely and makes you feel like, you know, you've never taken an English lesson before. She gets down to the basics of English, which you think you might know, but then after that, when it comes to, you know, how do we write concisely, how do we write with purpose and meaning, you know, you really think about the English language in a totally different way after that. I've learned a lot from her in her upper level classes, science and health reporting, for example. And she used to be a science reporter at the Straits Times. So she really she was really knowledgeable about all these scientific terms, you know what tachycardia is? I didn't know until, you know, I got into this class. Yeah, it's just been a really good time learning with her, and the assignments that she has that she really uses to teach her students are also really very impactful. So one of the more exciting things that I've done recently was as part of a class, I had to publish a series of 8 Instagram stories explaining a science concept. So I thought, you know, why not let's try using like video and animation to describe what the rain cycle looks like for somebody who doesn't know what the rain cycle is. You know, I kind of forgot. But you know,
who doesn't know what a rain cycle is? It's like
I mean, you know, for people who need a slight refresher in terms of science knowledge, or you know, for other people who just want to learn a little bit more about how rain coalesces around a particle in a particle of dust in the air. You know, a little more scientific, all right? A little more scientific. So she's my favorite professor.
It's nice, really nice.
Actually, one favorite professor I would like to talk about is actually one of the teachers that I actually took last semester. Wait, not last semester, last year, during the second semester. He's actually from Thailand. So, and he actually has a PhD in woodworking. So I actually took a semester class with him where I actually learned how to create products out of wood. And then he really goes into like the different types of wood that you could sort of experiment with, which kinds would he really adds in the scientific the scientific approach where which kind of wood would crack under what kind of weathering especially as well. So it's something that I would never have considered beforehand, but I actually after taking his class, he sort of makes me like think out of the box and in a way conceptualize my ideas around cultural context and heritage as well, because he talks about Southeast Asian heritage and how there's a difference between Western and Asian sort of like cultures and techniques, especially when in buildings, in structures especially. So he not only talks about like the course content and the material itself, but he sort of branches it out to like how it could be used in the real world. Yeah.
It sounds like it would be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Shall we move on to the next
Yeah,
question?
Sure. Yeah.
Right, next question. Is there a cross-disciplinary program or a chance to collaborate between the CoHASS student body? Right. I guess in the curriculum there are definitely different kinds of courses that you can take. There are double majors available. You can check out the CoHASS double majors programs. Within CoHASS itself, you can also choose to take up minors across all the CoHASS schools. So that's some way in which you can expand yourself in terms of your breadth of your knowledge across different subject areas. In terms of more specific programs, I just want to speak about one of the experiences that I had previously in my third year. So I was in the undergraduate research on campus program, or we call it Eureka. And so I, as a communication studies student, I actually went to the School of Art, Design and Media, and I took up a project over there regarding typography. So I was learning about typography, and I was investigating typography on the streets of Juqiet. And studying how the letter forms would show a certain kind of story about the place itself. And the most interesting thing was that, so we've already got communication studies. I also have art design and media professor supervising me, and then I got a co-supervisor from linguistics, guiding me on the interview skills, talking about how to approach people who are probably on the streets and don't really know about research. So it was a very cross-disciplinary program, but it's kind of high-level NTU kind of research, undergraduate research program. So that was really fun. I wrapped it up last year. I highly recommend this experience if anybody else is interested in dabbling a bit into research. What about other non-academic ways to collaborate across the student body? Jared, you want to take us through this?
I think regarding the academic side, Eugene has covered everything. So majors, double majors, minors even. Regarding the student life side of things, we do come together. Like now, we came together under the CoHASS banner, and CoHASS does offer opportunities for students to gather. We do have things like CoHASS Day, where we plan like a little birthday celebration for the school, and we bring all the students together on one night. Our dean comes down, the professors come down, and generally we have a good time across the 4 different schools. The interesting thing I think about CoHASS is that we are so far apart from each other. ADM is a building on their own, Wikimi is a building on their own. It's not like the College of Engineering or Business where they have their own building, So I think the fun part about being in CoHASS is that even though we are so far apart, we are always being linked in a certain way, and we always do things together under the CoHASS banner once in a while. Once in a while.
Yeah, and I just talk briefly about NTUSP because it is, at the end of the day, it is a multidisciplinary kind of program. So like as a student who's studying communications, I also get to learn modules from like across different subjects across the CoHASS school. So for example, I think there was an opportunity to learn like astronomy as well, and there was also another module called Maritime Silk Road, which you get a chance to actually go to Venice as well.
Wow!
Yeah, so very different like modules that are completely not within my home course, and all these are, I guess, opportunities where you can, if you're asking about a multidisciplinary program, I think NTUSP is one way where you can, take modules that are completely like out of your whatever your home course is. So there's that. In terms of, I guess, collaboration between the CoHASS student body, NTUSP is made up of quite a lot. A vast majority of us are actually from the CoHASS schools. So we've got people from public policy and global affairs. We've got psychology people, and on top of people within CoHASS, we've also got like engineering, aerospace engineering people. We've got accounting and business double degree people. So if you're asking for variety and in terms of collaboration, I think NTU USP is one way where you can collaborate not just within a academics, where you do school projects and all that, and you go overseas together to do social research. But you also get to collaborate on a day-to-day basis. We also have our own NTU USB student club, where we get to plan activities together. So I'm working with people from like accounting and business who are really good with their money. So we have our finance is from ACBS, and we've also got people from philosophy, from psychology as well. So I think for me as as someone who's been inside for 3 years, I think I really appreciate that diversity, because I think not just of course within NTUSP, but also across like CoHASS, meeting people at CoHASS Day, and also just talking to people across different disciplines. I think there's a lot of value in that. So I think it's a great question. Yeah.
Maybe just to add to that, like CoHASS actually, or SOH in general, they provide language studies. So if you're interested in taking up like Korean, Malay,
Russian.
Russian,
French,
German, French, Thai, even Thai. For Thai, I heard the tutor actually brings down like Thai food.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I heard.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So if you're looking to do that, you can just join CoHASS and take it under SOH. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, or you can take it as an unrestricted elective, or you can choose to do one of the many other courses as one of the JERPs, general elective requirements. Prescribed electives, a really long name. We call JERPs because every student is also required to take classes in liberal arts, science and technology, and society, and also business. So hope that answers your question. Right, the next question comes from Anonymous. How does being in the student club influence or impact your student life in NTU? Clara, do you want to talk about that?
Alright, impact your student life.
Besides finding a boyfriend.
I think it's really about, like we brought up before, about like balance and about like life, work, and like socializing, and like sort of realizing, including time management, like around what time do you feel most productive, especially when it comes to your work. Whether like you like to do work in group settings, which ADM people usually do. We kind of get together, we do work together, we get dinner together right after, then go back to work again. Yeah, that's the kind of life that ADM has. We hang out, we talk about life, especially as well whenever we get together to do work once in a while. One mini short breaks in between. But I mean, student life in NTU can get very interesting over the course of your 3 or 4 years here. You look back in year one and you think now you would be like, how would you do things differently, or what would you have not changed? There's a lot of things to cover, especially.
I guess at the end of the day, it really is about time management. A lot of the things you really want to do so many things and accomplish so many different goals that you have in your university life. But really, at the end of the day, it really is about time management. How much can you accomplish realistically in a day? And that's how some people either get really burnt out, or they really have no time for their assignments. But if you are able to manage your time well, I'm pretty sure you can accomplish many things. You just need to know how to manage it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think one thing that really that's really different, I guess, for being in a student club as well, is that you learn that there's really a lot more to just studying. Because I think if you are so far the education, when you are in school, you're always like studying, I guess. But when you come to university, it's really a bit different, because there's a lot more time to kind of pick up your own activities. And that's why CoHASS has so many student bodies, and even at hall level as well, and at NTU level we have so many activities, because there's really a lot of opportunities for you to really kind of find out like what do you really like to do and all that. And I think so being in the student club really made me appreciate that there's a lot more to life than just reading books and all that kind of stuff. So
That sounds it.
Yeah. Right, next question comes from Not Conan. Is it possible to work while studying full-time? Are there opportunities to earn pocket money in NTU despite juggling the heavy school workload? Well, like I mentioned earlier, yes, it is definitely possible to work while you're studying full time, it all depends on your time management. Time management also refers to the way you structure your timetable. So if really, for instance, you're able to squeeze all your classes, all 20 AUs of them in 2 days, I mean, good for you. I do not recommend that at all. But if you do manage to do so, then you definitely have 3 days for you to go and work outside of curriculum time, and that's definitely okay if you're okay with it. But besides that, there are also other opportunities to earn pocket money in NTU. Does anybody want to share about those opportunities?
I think NTU actually provides this thing called the work-study scheme. So under the work-study scheme, you can actually work like part-time, take off like a few hours each day. Based on your timetable, of course, you got to manage that well, like what Eugene said. Then from there, you can actually earn a bit of side income that can take you through the week. And I think that's mostly
That's more
more than enough. Because after all, we're here to study, right? Yeah, primarily.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, I do also have friends who are taking up like part-time internships, or they're also doing freelance jobs as like graphic designers or like producers outside. So really, it really depends on you. Like what can you do with your time? How you only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Okay.
We get the point. You get the point. Sorry, but it really depends on how you manage your time. Then that will determine, if it's possible to do outside.
Yeah, actually, I can say that I think the interesting thing about being in university is that we are all specialized in a certain thing. So it actually helps that we are doing something specialized that we can apply to like a real life job skills. Like for example, communication student can go out and part-time at say activation agencies, PR agencies. ADM kids can do things like design, photos and videos. And then a lot of people in the humanities and social sciences, we do a lot of tuition, right? Because the JC curriculum and the secondary school curriculum all require tuition. And just nice, right, we have things like English and Chinese and history. And what better way to study and work at the same time by teaching something that you're studying now, which is brilliant. And I think that's the beauty of being in university, really. Yeah.
Right, let's move on to our next question. How's student life like, and what's the vibe in NTU? I think we've covered the first half of the question, but what's the vibe in NTU?
What's the vibe?
I think if you're looking for like a whole holistic kind of like experience, NTU has hall, you have student life, like what we've mentioned. You have your own like study groups, cliques that you form within school. Then all these group together, coupled with like whatever you do on the side, I think it forms pretty much very vibrant kind of like vibe in NTU.
We have a very exclusive vibe. We're far away from everything else, Nothing can touch us.
But it's actually a very inclusive space, like we include everybody in our activities. And it's just, distance.
A bit of distance. Yeah, we have a bit of distance.
A little bit. Yeah. We move on to our next question. Are there any other research opportunities aside from Eureka available for students? What are the requirements for these research opportunities?
I think I can share some.
Both of us.
Yeah. And also, I think you'll share about your quest.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so for the humanities, we actually have this thing called independent study, where we can pick up a topic of interest with a professor and actually just do one-on-one research with this professor, and obviously you'll discuss the topic beforehand. And these are credit bearing as well, so we get AUs for it. Other than that, research opportunities in school, in university, is actually plentiful. I've heard of professors who hire research assistants for another part-time work. And usually the requirements for research is not high. Yeah, I think the demand is there and the supply is generally slightly lower than that. Yeah, and if you do really want to do research, Eureka, I think, is really the best place to do it because not only are you supervised, you get credits and you can do it all 4 years of your university life. I have friends who've done it 3 or 4 years, and it really depends on what you're looking for. And I think NTU has so much to offer, even besides Eureka.
I think Eureka also prepares you for FYP, right?
Or
what's known as graduation project right now. Yeah. So actually, in SSS we have research like assistants attached to like professors. So you can actually look out on your emails once you're matriculated for these kind of opportunities. The requirements not very high. It's all listed in the email. And so far, most of my peers they managed to get it. So I don't think it's that hard.
Oh yeah,
Anything
sure.
USP side?
Yeah, so on the USP side, in year one, it's actually compulsory. So we have a core module called Fieldwork and Documentation. We also call it TOPS, which stands for Travel Overseas Program for Scholars. So the way it works is you actually spend half of semester one in your first year, kind of crafting like a research question, and then basically just crafting the whole proposal. And then after that, during the December holidays, you get to go overseas. So recently they just came back from Laos. The year before that, when I was the main committee for, we actually went to Taiwan, which is really nice, beautiful place. No bias there. I really like Taiwan. So, but yes, it's and then after that, basically they go there to conduct social research. So, for example, one group actually talked about food and culture in Taiwan, which is pretty taking advantage of Taiwan's food culture, which is amazing. And also we've also take a look into topics like globalization, how it's affected the livelihoods of locals over there. And so basically it's a group project, and then when you come back you write like a final report, and you also do this thing called a deliverable. So basically we have an exhibition somewhere in March where some teams can choose to shoot like a documentary. We also have teams who do like a photo exhibition or an interactive exhibition to basically present their findings of what has really happened in these countries, in these regions and all that. So that is a group research opportunity that we have from NTU USP, and it's actually it's part of the core modules. So that's something that you can look forward to if you are looking to apply to NTU USP. Yeah.
Alright, so to sum it all, we have, besides Eureka, we also have research opportunities during the final year project. Some professors also offer some research assistant positions available. There's also NTU USP that offers a lot of these research and documentation things. So it's plenty. There are so many opportunities for you to go and do your research if you really want to do that. Let's move on to our next question.
It's a long one.
Ooh, okay. So the university website provides a rough cost of living estimation. As usual, very much depending on students' lifestyle. But personally, what's your average monthly expenses like? If you don't mind sharing. Thanks! Well, okay, so maybe we can start talking about what, if you are staying in hall, so let's make that assumption that you're staying in hall. Well, if you are, a little tight on cash, like me, you will probably be staying in a double room, maybe with or without aircon, maybe you can have it. So it's about $295 a month, on average.
Average is about $300.
Yeah.
300, 400.
So that's $300 a month. Now let's talk about food. There are a lot of food options around NTU.
So
I
many
think
canteens.
the average is like $3 to $4 per meal.
Yeah.
And it's pretty affordable, I
Yeah.
think, for the kind of food we're getting.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Depending on your mood for the day as well. If you feel like eating something a little fancy, we do have those options.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
cafes,
have it at North
we have
Spine,
co-op cafes, we
Yeah.
have Connect.
Yeah.
So many.
So maybe, $3-4 for a meal, maybe throw in $1 or $2 more for a drink, then you add times 3 for like breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's about like
Probably 200 to 250.
thereabouts. I mean, transport, getting in and out of school, you have your
You have shuttle buses.
we have shuttle buses that get you in and out of school. You can also get those concession passes, monthly bus passes to help you, just soften the blow a little bit. If you don't want to be grabbing around everywhere. Yeah.
Even if you don't stay in hall, and NTU actually provides a free shuttle bus to like various MRT stations. Yeah, so you can take a look at that.
Yeah. So I don't know, I can't do the math like on the
so
fly
it's
right now.
Probably 600 plus.
Yeah,
It's
if
about
you
600 plus per month.
I think it
Yeah.
also really depends on
about
like
that.
how far your school is from your hall as well.
Yeah.
Like whether you choose to walk, you take the bus,
Yeah. So
But campus bus is free though.
Yeah, I mean,
But
but
there's
there's
also the
some
option to
199.
there's also the option to cook, right? If you stay in hall,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
prepare your own meals, and there are microwaves around, so
Yeah.
it's a lot cheaper if you cook. We have supermarkets in school,
Yeah.
2 supermarkets, so we can buy what we need and we can cook our own meals as
So
well.
yeah, so if you are living, you don't want to cook, you're staying in hall, one of the more cheaper options in hall, you take the bus, to and fro school, in between your hall stay during the week. We'll say it's about $600 a month, but don't quote us on this. It could be more, it could be less,
Depending on your lifestyle.
Depending on your lifestyle. And that's not including the fun stuff that you do in school. So, take it with a pinch of salt. Right, let's move on to the next question. Did anyone go for overseas exchange? How was the experience? And is it worth the money? Alright, so who here has been for exchange? Hands up. Okay.
No.
So maybe let's start with you, Jared, since you know it's been some time.
It's been some time for you as well.
Yeah.
Don't make yourself sound so young. I went on exchange. Wow, it's really been some time. I went on exchange 2 years ago, and it was to Boston University in the States. I spent about, including air tickets as well as living expenses, I spent close to I think $17,000, all from my savings, and so my bank account is practically empty now. And I think what's a good thing about exchange is that there is no other time in your life that you will ever be able to spend 6 months abroad, studying in a different university. And this, if you ask me if it's worth it, I would say it's totally worth it. I would even encourage you to go on exchange, even if it's to, let's say, an Asian country, somewhere nearer where you don't spend as much. The experience was amazing. The classrooms are different. The way they learn and teach are different. I've made so many overseas friends, and now I know that, you know, if I need a place to stay in Boston, I can give someone a call. and you know, we make these kind of relationships that we don't really see in Singapore. I think the best thing about overseas exchange is that it gives you perspective. I used to think the train in Singapore and the buses in Singapore were crowded. Man, wait till you go to New York, right? Yeah, you think buses are expensive here? It's like $4.50 for a bus ride there. It's crazy. So I think this perspective is something that money can't buy. Okay, in this case, money can buy if you go for exchange. But it's really these differences in ideas and challenges of perception that make exchange worth it. I don't know about you guys. How about you,
Well,
Pat?
I can just share briefly. So for mine, I went to London. So I went under the study abroad program from NTU USP. And I guess, yeah, like what, you know, he's mentioned quite a lot of what I wanted to say. But I guess just to add, yeah, just really living extensively overseas, you know, by yourself or maybe with your friends is really something that you cannot have at any point in your life after university. So I think that's something that you really puts into perspective, especially once you come back. The withdrawal is very real. And yeah, and you just really get to learn, you know, even down to things like cooking or like managing your own finances. All these are things that, you know, you don't really get to do, I guess, as a youth here when you're still in university. When you're overseas, it's really very different. Every penny kind of counts from there. Like, do I buy this broccoli or the organic one? No, even that. Like, it's really ridiculous, but like, you really makes you think and all that. Yeah, so it's really, you know, I think to sum it up, it's really worth it regardless of, you know, how much money you have to pay. Thankfully, for me under study abroad, I did get quite a heavy subsidy for that. So yeah, I think I'm really thankful for that opportunity. And yeah, so I would say exchange is a must go, regardless of, as long as your course allows it, and as long as, you know, you have the opportunity to, please do apply, whether it's for NTU's OGEM, Overseas Exchange Program, or whatsoever. Please, even if it's for summer internship, right?
Summer exchange.
Summer exchange, sorry.
Winter
exchange, because we do have options in like Korea or, you know, any other countries and all that. So whether it's just for like a month or two, you know, it's still worth it because you're really, doing something different.
Well, I for one actually went on 2 exchange programs, kinda, sorta. So my first one was in the regular kind of exchange. I went to Ryerson University in Toronto, Canada. I won't speak so much about that because they've already talked so much about their exchange experiences. But I went for my second experience in China, Shanghai, and it was, I think, a year ago since I've been in Shanghai, and I took some classes over there. But yet at the same time, I also had the opportunity to do an internship in China under the work and study program offered by the Career and Attachment Office. So I did like my internship. I did like visual journalism over there, and you know, it was a really fun and exciting experience to be, you know, working in the industry in a completely different environment, and you know, throwing yourself out, speaking Chinese every day, trying, you know, ordering your what we call 外卖 or your takeaways, and you know, just using Alipay in general was just so eye-opening for me. It's a completely different world. So to sum it up, you know, it's great. Go for it. Go for exchange if you can. Go for it. There are a lot of grants that you can apply for. There are also, you know, financial aid schemes that you can apply for to, you know, help soften the blow a bit if you are intending on going on exchange. So we are nearing the end of our session today. You know, why not let's give each of us give one sentence, you know, your final piece of advice to all those who are watching us today. I would say, you know, I've been saying this entire session, time management. There are so many things to do in university, but you need to prioritize and you need to know what you want the most in order for you to achieve the most out of your university experience. Anybody else?
I would say don't let yourself be challenged by limitations. If you really want and you really enjoy something, go for it, try it, and you really never know what you get at the end of the day. So if your results may not be good enough to enter, just try. There's really no harm trying. So don't worry about it. Just go. Yeah.
I think through this whole session we have shared with you that NTU has so many opportunities and that we are so vibrant. We have a holistic education. We have NTU USB, we have the CoHASS, and we have this unique NTU spirit. So why not try NTU and just try it, because you never know what you get.
Yeah, I guess one last sentence would be, if you really do not have any more time at the end of the day, just don't think, just do it, you know? Yeah, so, but yeah, that's about it, I guess, for today.
One last, so people like to call us Pulau NTU because we are an island. We are very far from everywhere else, but I think that's what makes us special as well. We like to, you know, just hang around in school and all that kind of stuff, and I think that makes the school spirit really strong. So I think if you're thinking, just choose NTU.
Right. With that being said, thank you very much for tuning in with us today. We hope you learned a lot from this panel. You can follow each of our Instagram accounts, you know, if you want to learn more. But yeah, that's it from us. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.